So that is not,
Costco hot dog or Sam's.
or Sam, so maybe she did go to.
Or the Sam's. Yeah.
Hey, Chief, how's it going?
That was so.
They're not Costco brand, they're just the biggest. I'd say I could see the.
I like Costco's hot dogs. Those are good. Mhm.
For a dollar. whatever it is.
I know, for a
They're-
dollar.
They're very cheap. They're-
Yeah. He's part of the.
I knew that. He was a commonly, he was in his chocolates.
World's finest.
We would kind of. It was chief deputy for Ken.
They tell you what Olivia says, like, this doesn't taste as good at beef. Is it really the world's finest?
You know, seafood
No.
is just
The world.
exceptional.
Uh-huh.
My mom, we have a, like, family member, always eats my mom a big box of seeds. They've done it for my whole life.
Oh,
It's the
uh-huh.
only time we got to eat seeds. And she brought it this year and I just had one or two or three pieces. Like, just,
It's just,
I don't know what, I mean, so the chocolate inside, it's
everything, everything. about it.
It's just
Phenomenal.
It's better, you know, this Marie.
Mrs. Kavanaugh is better than Kavanaugh's. I know.
I've done seeds.
I got a Valentine's ad in the mail today and I put it on my fridge for Travis. It's a coupon for C's. You can go in whenever you want, honey.
Where do you get seeds?
At the mall, Newgate Mall, next to the pretzel place, which is also delicious. I used to go there for lunch when I worked down there.
I've never bought.
Or if you order enough, you get free shipping.
Oh,
That's a fact. And in the summertime, they put little cooling pads with it so it doesn't melt.
I don't think I've ever bought.
You should go.
Really?
You should get some for your wife for Valentine's Day. It's serious. It's a win. Oh, okay.
Oh,
We're not supposed to have any. She walks up all the Christmas stuff in the garage. She's going to- Work with that one.
ah,
We did that, and then I bought cookies yesterday, and I'm like, why did I throw away all my treats? I needed cookies. Something's wrong. Something's wrong here.
Where is seeds, like, local or where they?
They're out of California.
sorry.
But the lady that,
Is just she on the franchise that's in here in Ogden? Is it franchise?
it is
She must
franchise,
be
and the
or
lady
something.
who owns it is the cutest old lady, and her daughter, and did you know the granddaughter works there now?
Oh,
The daughter who died from the brain tumor's daughter works there now.
Oh, I didn't know she had a daughter.
She's very sweet.
How much chocolate do you buy? You know the-
Let's
Just say the clause in my contract is not a joke. No joke.
I still have,
She's coming on as soon as she can. She was gonna,
Be
a minute.
What is subsidized versus expense for?
What are you reading? oh, the Heather did that, so I don't know. You read,
Subsidized at the Founder's Day.
So like,
That's FTEs is the labor.
I don't know what you're.
well,
Oh, FD? Oh,
now you have.
did I give you a copy? Here.
Expense
I got one.
6,000, but it's subsidized 38,000.
Where's she looking?
Right here. So the total
Oh, so that's what the
expenses
city's
and then
actually
how
paid.
much is being paid.
So Founder's Day, they paid for themselves, except for the city paid 38,000. So the city's subsidizing Founder's Day. Yeah, but we're subsidizing. It's not paying for itself, is what she's saying.
But we still came under budget, that's money.
Yeah, because I really upped it because you guys had sidewalk and everything. So,
Let's keep that up. Fireworks are coming.
Income's 20, expenses is 56 minus 20.
It's 38.
It's 38, that's what we took from the budget, but if you look at the. No, if you look at the budget line item on our budget, it's like 56,000. It was allocated, so no special. Because we brought in. But the total amount of what the cost is.
Almost 39.
that's 35.
So we came in under the budget line.
Money well spent, let's not.
Yeah, keep that amount because fireworks are coming.
But that's up to you guys. I just put down what you guys,
I said, yeah.
She got whatever she got.
Yeah, it's good. No big.
Whatever that was.
It's 56,000.
Okay, see, I'm sorry, if I take 56,000 minus 20, I get
35.
35,570.
We'll do 56,000 minus 20,744.
I did the actual amounts, and I get 35, 575.09. I'm not sure what.
Five, seven, five.
Heather's tip, maybe. That's, yeah, I was, okay. So I said, you guys use that complicated math.
Partners.
I have 6:02. Let's call order the Pleasant View City Council regular meeting this Tuesday, January 9th, 2024. Dr. Schmidt, welcome everybody. We'll start with the pledge of allegiance of the Gregorian and spot by Sarah.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our Father in heaven, we're grateful for the opportunity to gather together and present this. We're grateful that we are here safe, we're grateful that we're able to address the concerns and the ordinances and requests that we need to adjust and manipulate to be able to things our governance. We're grateful for those who serve on our behalf. We're grateful for the military who are sworn to protect and use prevention. Please bless them. That we will be staying consistent in this. We ask that you please bless our local law enforcement, especially law enforcement. All that we need is to help us keep our cities. We also ask that you please bless our public works departments. They work so hard to keep our infrastructure running smoothly and our streets about everything that we don't necessarily understand. This is so please bless them. Yes. They will be healthy and strong in the nation. We're grateful for our administration for our office and yes, and as well. Father, we're grateful for the city, so many of us to serve. We're grateful for this experience. Yes, please watch over tonight that we will make some decisions and you guys include responsibilities that we have systems in Jesus Christ.
One B is the declaration of conflicts of interest and conflicts. Noted on the agenda. Being that, we move 1C, public comments, questions, we'll take a first minute. Thank everybody for all your caring, kind comments, and my family really appreciate it. Been a hard week, but it's great people to make it easier. So personally, I really appreciate your work. So,
May I like to make a public comment as well? Just thank you for being here. I think this is the day that we, I mean, like every reason not to, but for stuff. So thank you for being here and thank you for being mayor of our city.
Item 2, consent items, the bills of Columbia City. Get a chance to review. Any comments or questions?
I'll second the motion.
Motion by Mary, second by Yuri. All in favor, say aye. Aye. There it is. Thank you. Item 3, general plan amendment. General plan amendment, ratify action by ordinance, ratify the master street map of the Department of Planning, location West 59, highway by ordinance 2024-1.
Okay, this one's quite simple, but before you this evening is an ordinance to ratify the recent modifications to the master street map. And so there was an adoption of the master street map However, it was pointed out, and rightfully so, that an ordinance would be required to formally make an amendment to the general plan, and in doing so, request your ratification this evening through this ordinance.
So this is the one we approved last time, and we just need to ratify it by actually adopting the ordinance.
The changes to Highway 89, the northern portion.
Did that on December 12th, I believe. All right, any questions?
So there hasn't been any adjustments then?
No.
Ratify what we did by.
It's adopting it by the proper tool of adoption.
You guys met with Stone and stuff like that, is this?
This really, in any dialogue we've had, there haven't been any discussion with them on this. It was properly noticed, but I don't really know if they have any strong preference one way or the other. If anything, I think it may provide, and I'm not able to speak for them, but some benefit to give another outlet for that extension through. I guess one thing that would be helpful to note, we did have a discussion with UDOT, and it sounds like just with the discussions, they're supportive of the road as per the plans.
There's something all over.
Yes.
They were here for clarification, and we mentioned for that. It was for the, addition,
Mhm.
but they didn't have.
No, they didn't mention that at all. Yeah.
Mayor, by us vacating that one section that we were going to do, does that affect that the school at all? Because we will have one access point really for that.
Here, I can.
You know, I mean, you don't even pull it.
Oh.
I
I
just
think eventually that road's the
other road
other
access
access.
went to the north, you know, in this.
Yes.
in this meeting there.
I suppose if they get positive causes some congestion, they can work with that.
Mayor, I'll make a motion to ratify the master streets plan as part of the general plan, this location west of Highway 89 as stated in item number 3, ordinance of 2024.
We're gonna start over.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, motion by Gibson, second by Yuri. This is the roll call. And join me out. Lincoln,
Yes.
Ray, yes, Yuri,
Yes.
and Phil's in the box.
No, been able to join us.
Live. Item 4 is Wasatch View North Commercial. Discussion of possible consideration to grant final acceptance to the public improvement of the Wasatch View North Commercial Development. Name.
Okay, and I am just gonna pull up the map quickly on this. So before you this evening is an acceptance of the public improvements at Wasatch View Commercial. But Wasatch View Commercial is where the Jimmy John site is located. Oh, let me. Get this map up. Here we go. With the chip cookie and that, and interestingly, and I'm not certain reasoning behind it, but we weren't able to find any remaining escrow amounts to release, and so this is just a final acceptance of the public improvements. They have been reviewed by engineering at the site and been deemed acceptable to the city to move forward with final acceptance and completion of this subdivision, so it's just right over.
That's what was collected, which is not a balance.
There's no further balance, so it was all released over there, yeah.
Isn't there still one piece vacant on that lot?
There is, but the public improvements are completed.
So everything done for that as well.
And I'm not certain with the lot in the middle, that's a really good
Was that
question.
not part of that initial?
That looks like that.
Yeah. I'm not certain. I don't think it was, I think it was mainly this.
But it seems to get like there is a trend right between Chip Cookie and Jimmy John's.
But the public improvements, and
Only go to.
it doesn't extend here, so, but it does have it
I thought it was a-
from here and then over and then it's not John Hanson, it's D Hanson. Mhm. Judge Rose is here, but yeah.
All three of those parcels are part of the same.
Yes, so and this map is older, so I'm not certain. I can get further information and clarification on that. I just received, so what typically happens is Ben Slater from Jones and Associates goes and confirms the quality of the public improvements and the completion of those as per plan. And so based on that, the determination has been made to recommend approval.
That's not what I expected. That's.
Ben does it, yeah. So it's not a building inspection, it's an inspection of the public improvements. That's a little bit different. Good question. Mhm.
Mayor, I'll make a motion that we grant final acceptance to this Wasatch North Commercial Development as stated in item number 4.
That's good. I'll second. the motion. It's a second. Any opposed? Carries. Thank you. Item 5 is agreement for the purchase of real property, discussion and possible consideration of the approving agreement for the purchase of real property located at 2975 west with the purchase price of $175,000.
Okay, before you this evening, is,
Before you start,
Oh, yeah.
I'd really like to wish Anne Rock.
that was the intention. Let me check the waiting room. She was gonna text me when she got on and I haven't seen anything. Sorry.
My comments.
Okay. Okay, so, before you this evening is an agreement for the purchase of real property. And this is located at 2975 North, 1000 West, directly behind, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints lot and church building, and then also on the other side of our public works lot. So there was very little connection for this piece to be utilized otherwise, and this would allow for the use to.
Everybody need to see it on.
Yeah, I know, but I just, the parcel that we own already to the west of that, is it go to the south corner? It goes all the way.
So, sorry. Close your eyes until I get there. So this will be partitioned off. And then right now, this is currently owned by the city, and I believe Admiral Weber Jones, this one down here. So this would extend, this is owned by the city as well. So this, and then this is the property for consideration.
Not relevant, but the 2 people
Down here,
Those, they change it.
yeah. Admiral Weber. And this has prior been budgeted, so this would be an action to make the determination to approve the agreement to move forward with purchase of the property.
And decided.
Yeah.
What was the question?
How much was that?
So it's 175.
And this been reviewed by our legal.
Yes, yes. This was reviewed and recommended for approval by my council.
And really did, she really carried the ball on this one. Yeah, she reached out and did a great job of keeping us in the loop, but she kind of did all the communication for somebody she knows. Really,
It's awesome, right? I can't believe it hasn't been used in 25 years now.
that one entry.
Why is it 95 is what it's approved? If you look up here, it's something.
Yeah, that sounds, that probably seems like it's been there a long time, so.
So not necessarily relevant to this conversation, but where is it?
What, over the geotech, those were not completed as of yet. No. So I mean, depending on the city's utilization of the property, I think we'd look into doing further study. Sorry, Steve.
Well,
I know it's the.
relevant for possible purchase, possible use.
Correct, correct.
I would dig a 6-foot hole and we hit water.
It will be fine, yeah, it's the northern
It's
part.
enough
It's
study.
more trouble, but the Tyson part is gonna be
Sure.
Understand that,
Mayor, I'm sorry,
sure.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the agreement for the purchase of real property located at 2175 1,000 west, just price of 975,000. Also thank Anne Harrington for all of her help with, the problems.
She'd really help if we got it for 100. That's what I'm thinking.
Can I have a motion? Do I have a second?
Second.
How would that work? Will we transfer funds to the different, to the other organization? Or how does the city own that? Or-
City will own that, the detail will come to,
So if-
if.
Yeah, there may be an interlocal agreement if there's some type of usage that involves another entity.
I think we would need to.
I think the city will maintain ownership of the property and take a portion of the sales of bonds.
Is that,
I wasn't sure how-
Is there plenty of water to that?
or is that
At
one?
least, I believe,
That's-
Pleasant Hills, yes, it's on the corner of that.
Anybody rights for that?
I'm sure the church. does.
I'm sure, yeah. with that, but
That's, you're not being in the agreement.
Yeah, I just want to.
And the rail line is really, I'm kind of over on this side of 89, is really the determinant where that water comes into effect a lot of
even
times.
that goes with the sale of property,
One of
the
the
water rights to
Okay,
that.
I just want to make sure we have water for that.
I'm pretty sure you can't retain water rights when you sell off that property. It depends on the owners.
Anyways, part of my, well, I just want to make sure we have water there. That's, part of the motion, but staff, board, we think we have water.
Would you like me to make that?
Let's have this Tyson look into that, make sure. We're good
I
there.
second the amendment.
Hang on, okay. Got a motion by Sarah and a second by Tiffany. Any further discussion? This requires the regular vote. Okay,
Yeah.
yes, okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. All right, item 6, subdivision ordinance. Discussion on possible action to amend the subdivision ordinance title 17, ordinance 2024-2 to gain compliance with changes to Utah code. And this has been a long, laborious process.
It has, I'm trying to think,
Thanks to the staff and yeah, we've met hours and hours and hours.
hours and hours.
And this is changes not only that we want, but also the majority of this is what we require in your Senate bill 154.
174, and I've got a PowerPoint, I'm just trying to get uploaded, it'll have all the details.
So
I did send just a couple of just really good word to show.
Okay, let me, where? I don't know why this flash drive is like, do you see it, Larry? It was having problems on mine too.
so we went
Is it
with
just
bus,
still not
names,
uploaded?
jobs, so much.
Yeah, there was
Oh,
a few of
maybe
those.
this is it.
Just where.
No.
And Michelle and that.
Sorry, it seems like my flash drive's like, I was just trying to save it onto, and you know what I can do? I can hop on the Zoom and share it on the Zoom. I'll do that. I'll just do that. Let me check and see if nothing from Ann. Okay,
She here now?
no, not yet. Sorry, technical difficulties. Okay.
Well, the majority of this, which is why she brings it up, like I said, is Senate bill 174. They gave us to February 1st, all cities to comply. It's major changes,
Mhm.
mostly right now to single one and two and townhomes.
But yeah, there's a whole
Isn't it mostly from minor subdivisions?
Described.
Preliminary.
Oh, I wish my.
Well, what it
PowerPoint
basically says,
would
is the legislature in Senate Bill 174 says that they can't, they can't come to the city council. That's the approvals of the planning commission level. So
Well, yeah, for those specific ones. Mhm. So it looks like it's going to fight me on this, which is fine. I'm just gonna. It's not even,
I mean, has the council had a chance to go through them and look at them or? And keep in mind, any little glitch or anything, we can always amend it again. So,
okay, I'm just gonna read through my presentation. There's nothing graphical on here. So the purpose of and the mayor kind of spoke to this, the new, changes is to address, new standards and requirements in Utah code. Also to improve overall clarity and simplify process language. So, as you went through, and especially with the red line, there's just a lot of different directions and process, and it's just not consistent and clean and clear. And then also, there's some specific provisions that are included to create flexibility to address future adjustments to standards in Utah code. And so that we don't have to come back and change this over and over again. There's certain things that we added to basically say we will comply with the state code. So,
So before, what we do is take the state code and we put it in here.
mhm,
Instead of doing that, we're saying that, because they're always changing that, we just said, okay. LUDMA exists, land use exists, and the state's messing with it every single legislative session. And so what we said is, this is our process to comply with the state code.
Utah code annotated as amended, and so as amendments happen. And so the different things that are addressed in these changes are the concept plan form, and you'll notice that that's been changed from an application to a form. There's specific timelines when we are receiving an application that we are now required to deal with. Whereas with a form, it's an optional thing on, the housing level, and I'll kind of go through that, and not all of the housing, but some of it. Preliminary subdivision application process, the final subdivision application process, the minor subdivision application process, and then the noticing requirements, and this goes to the mayor's point as well, to match, the state code. So Utah Senate Bill 174 came about in the 2023 session, and it enacts a new process for subdivision review and approval. And it applies to land use decisions arising from subdivision application for single family dwellings, two family dwellings, or townhomes. So it's focused specifically on housing, and as was mentioned, cities are required to comply by February 1st of this year. So with relation to the concept plans, a concept plan is typically something that somebody comes, can be a napkin drawing, but comes forward and says, hey, this is what I want to accomplish. And so the concept plan process is something that we highly encourage and recommend. With the new housing provisions, we can't require it, but it's something that, you know, it's helpful to the applicant a lot of times to come in and say, this is what I want to accomplish. And then we vet through, do an initial review and say, okay, here's your next steps. So we don't do a full review, but here's your next steps, here's what we need to do a review and to move forward. And
It's
so,
one of those mays that are actually made, because
mhm,
we cannot require them to submit a concept.
Yeah.
But we highly recommend they do it when we're putting this development.
yes, and so for residential, the language is that it's strongly encouraged. For non-residential, that the review is required. So if it's any type of commercial use, we would require a concept plan meeting first, just so that we're all getting on the same page. And then there's some staff review, comment, and recommendations of next steps. So that's kind of how the process starts if somebody comes in and wants to subdivide. And then there's one thing that is included and was included prior, but just clarification that the submittal of this form is not an application for final consideration, and that it's not a full review. And so that if somebody comes in and says, hey, I want to put an ice cream shop here, and we give them an initial head nod that, oh, that means the zoning, that could possibly work, then they don't come back and say, you gave me approval. It's no, this is just a concept. This is just giving you further direction forward. So from there, it goes to the preliminary, subdivision stage. And with regards to the preliminary, for the residential, single-family dwelling, two-family dwellings and townhome developments, and, just one specification, they're not located within identified geological hazard areas, so we still have the sensitive lands in effect. The process includes DRC consideration, so it goes to the DRC first, then planning commission consideration and determination for preliminary approval. And so the planning commission will look at DRC's recommendations and make a determination on the preliminary approval. And then, from there, it would go back to the DRC for a final approval on those types of uses.
That's one of the, they called it out very specifically for this group that said, this group of, she just mentioned.
Two-family dwelling and single-family. Mhm.
That the city council, it may not go to the city, shall not go to the city council. They're taking this right out. All the others, the larger subdivision in the commercial still, they'll be interested to see where this goes in the future. I think it's, state of stuff, but that's fine.
For conversation purposes or just clarification, sometimes I think it was last year, before somebody wanted to develop on a single lot, and we told them that they had to go through the subdivision process and there was some confusion. Well, it's not a subdivision, you know, every property, even if it's just one house on a property or a business.
Unless it's already something.
Yes, unless it's already been a lot, if it's undeveloped or compared to, it's always called a subdivision.
Correct.
Regardless, even if it's one.
Correct, and absolutely the hope with this, and I feel like, I mean, it has been a very painstaking process, but to help kind of clarify those steps for, I mean, for staff, for developers, for our elected, I mean, for everybody involved. And one of the things that is included in each of the stages of the process is that everything we're doing is an effort to meet the Utah Land Use Development and Management Act, LUDMA. And then it also includes a provision that we're meeting the minimum noticing requirements of the state code. So instead of having our own noticing requirements and having Brandon have to go back and forth and say, oh, okay, what does the city require on X part of the subdivision stage? What does the state require on X part of the subdivision stage? We're just moving to the noticing requirements at the state level, and it really simplifies and meets the requirements there, but also just alleviates confusion because, I mean, again, they can modify things each year.
So, we've had this discussion a lot of the state stepping in and putting something out there that's different from the city. In several things. Why don't we have, why are we capitulating to the state for everything? Well, but why do, I don't know, this is not.
We're not, we
But-
are a political subdivision in the state.
But we-
That's what
They own us.
But why, why is it that the cities, I mean, some of these things are taken away from us?
Well, we actually, as we're kind of, we're trying to follow what they've passed, but same, we work with the League of Cities and Towns and public markets, but exactly what you're saying.
But,
When are we going to go on the offense instead?
yeah, I just wonder when we do, and that's my exact question. I mean, Pleasant View is not Sandy City.
Right.
Pleasant View is not Salt Lake City, of course. Pleasant View is not Lehigh. There are different needs, there are different wants, there are different councils and things that are going. I mean, I looked at all the red line stuff, I guess you did all that.
Well, we did as a committee, so
Well,
this is the crazy
it was
thing.
done, but
Yeah.
hats off to whatever, 'cause but it just bothers me that we are, it might as well be this Pleasant View / state of Utah thing, because we do have different things here, and different wants
Right,
for our cities.
I'll get on my soapbox and say, I think they're slowly this out on the cities so that we're the ones that take the blame for the changes the state wants. The state could just as easily come in and they threaten to do it. We're gonna come and take all the planning and zoning and we're gonna do it for us.
See, and I mean, I would fight that. It's like affordable housing, and well, it's not part of this thing too, but they put that in there, just have to be a catch-all for everybody. and some rubber stamp no matter what. You have the Wasatch Front, you have rural, you have Vernal, you know, Alcona, come on, Duchesne, all those things that are completely different. And I wonder where this is gonna go, and I know that's a little bit of a tangent, I apologize, but I just,
Did you send out that response from Remington?
I didn't send that to everybody, but I can.
You should.
Yeah,
That's very good. Thing.
so they did a press release, basically condemning the state's housing study.
And it's just getting, if you look at it, massive.
well, anyway, and I apologize, I know that this is not the place for that, but I just.
No, I think
It is the place
As
for
I'm
that.
looking at this, and we're changing things to do that, why? You maybe need a study on this, is how we're gonna do it.
Well, and right now, we're changing because if we don't, and this is what's kind of unfortunate with where things have gotten, and I think that press release, and I'll send it out tomorrow, is kind of helpful dialogue with it, because if we don't comply, then we lose our road funds. I mean, that's,
And that's, shame on them for putting us, I mean, you know, uniform code, I understand that. In some regards, you need some uniformity throughout. It's just like the city, and we provide water, sewer, whatever. The individual resident can't provide that, so we provide that for them. The state's providing some guidelines on some different things that are whatever. But I don't know, it just seems like every time we change this to match the state mandate, nothing, it's no good. I don't know,
I know, and cities that we feel powerless. I mean,
so what, I mean, we're an independent city, for heaven's sakes, we're supposed to be.
it was like before. Utah League cities and that with lead.
Justin, yeah.
Talking and everybody was like, why?
It was so depressing last year.
It's like, why are we letting the state do this to us? I mean, it wasn't just like one or two cities. It was like every city.
So what happened, well, and again, this is not the place, but I don't know why we don't get together as cities and say, listen, we're not. It's just like the federal government, and I don't want to get up on that tangent either, but they force certain things on the states that is, I mean, we're still the United States. We're still the states of America, you know, and we're independent.
No, because this is off the subject, but you should see the new piece of legislation that somebody's proposing in 2021. About the federal government, like, well, that's rich. coming from people.
Sorry,
No, it's okay.
we'll
It's
get off
okay.
that tangent, but.
But
We all agree.
I will say that I do feel like, we've taken this opportunity, and I know there's been a strong desire of the council and the mayor to create stronger established checklists, to clean up our process, to make it clear what, and so I think that this is a good opportunity. So all of the changes are not state required. A lot of the changes are clean up to establish what our process is and make that abundantly clear. One of the things that's in the code that you'll notice, there's a reference to checklists throughout, and that they're subject to legislative approval from the city council. And so that's something that we'll have ready for your next meeting. And ultimately, just basically that checklist of,
Do we have this checklist then? I mean. I
we
wrote-
do, and right now, there is,
Meetings on it. Will be a staff.
right. So right now, it is part of the official code, and it's blended all around, it's just, it's very messy.
That's fine, I just, and I don't mind changing stuff and, you know.
Right,
Being good, the same as North Ogden, the same Pleasant View, I hate people coming and saying, well, you don't do it the same as
right.
Far West, well, and why don't we? And so if it makes sense, if it makes sense, let's do it. And let's give everybody a path. I mean, I looked at this and I read through it, but some of it just, I said, I'll listen to it at the meeting, because
Cities, at the very minimum, they're the same, but we add things that pertain to.
well, and I hope that's the case, and I hope then we hold the people accountable to do the things, to follow the rules, as long as they make sense.
This will be a good.
Good.
I really,
Hopefully.
And I have to just say thank you.
we can go through the shells after. I'm just gonna finish kind of the presentation side of this. And so
done with that, so.
Sorry, I'm not, but I'm almost there.
I interrupted you, so.
No, it was good dialogue. So with regard to any other, and the way we list it is any other preliminary subdivision application, we outline the other process. So then let's say if the state determines, hey, we actually want to put this other type of housing or this other type of use in this other category, then we can easily move and modify those. But for any other, I mean, our process stays pretty close to the same, but it's better clarified in the code. So it includes DRC consideration, planning commission consideration and recommendation, city council consideration and determination for preliminary approval, and then goes to the city council for final. And so very similar to what we do now for anything besides the specific list called out by the state. It's defined in code, and the mayor is kind of an honorary member. He's not listed in the code. Not that, but we have the public works director, the city planner, the fire marshal, the engineer, the building inspector as called out items.
And the code specifically cites no member of the city council, which I'm a member of. So that's why.
And just more informationally there to participate, not driving the dialogue and the things. So the other change, and I actually think this will simplify the process quite a bit, and this is where Councilmember Yuri did have some changes, is in the minor subdivision application. And so within the minor subdivision application, there is a substantial change with this, and that's and there's several criteria that have to be met with this. But that this only goes to the DRC for that review and approval, and really because it simplifies the process as to what's needs to be accomplished. There's just not a lot of things that would need to go further.
17.
And so there's several things A through G that list musts, and the recommendation from Councilmember Yuri was to change those to shalls.
As much as you want to think that must means must, I kept telling them the conversations that we've had with the commission and outside of that. The must doesn't mean must. And shall is definitive, that's that, you don't have a choice. Must is, well,
What the state goes.
The state said something much about the state.
this is what the state says must, I know.
Steve,
There's a couple other places too that I can change.
We're being rebels, or shall.
Just a couple.
yeah, and we can go through those. So good. We didn't have too many. So we honestly went line by line through this 2 times with the group, and on top of that, went through it individually as well. It was quite the process. We had John Geilman, who's helping us to draft ordinances, involved in the process, the attorney. We spent many, many hours doing this. What was really funny is it's probably middle of December, we started getting all these letters and emails from these attorneys that wanted to come and help us with our subdivision ordinances, because the state suddenly said that they'd be willing to help fund some of the improvements to these. And I'm just like, with the noticing requirements, there would be no possible way at that timeline. It was very interesting. I don't know. I'm gonna check into that. So well, this is what is, and I don't know if this is the case or not. I've seen a list of attorneys, and I don't know if they're just allowing for the use of those attorneys to use funding, but the rate of those attorneys is obscene in my opinion, but I don't know. So we'll see. We'll move forward. So, with regard to the review process, one of the things, and I really appreciate the dialogue we had on this one. There was a lot of dialogue. Was restricted site preparation work prior to approval. So once somebody submits an application, and so this wouldn't be back at the concept level, but an application, it would respectively restrict work on the site. And we discussed this quite at length. And part of the reasoning for the restricted work on the site is because if plans are submitted and there's some type of geotechnical study or some type of evaluation of the slope, that could be modified. And so in looking at the changes to the code, this, and I'm just gonna read it because I think it makes it quite clear. Upon submission of subdivision application, no work including but not limited to excavation, grading, or regrading shall take place until basically the final subdivision application is approved. Clearing and grubbing can occur without disruption of any root systems. Disruption of root systems, soil disturbance requires issuance of a SWIP. And part of the reasoning for this, and again, if there's changes that happen, but this isn't something that the city can easily monitor. However, if it is to be found that somebody goes and significantly disrupts or regrades a site, then we could require a resubmittal of an application with this language. And say, well, we just need an application that reflects your new grade of the land. Yeah. So, but I really liked the language, and we dug into this quite a bit because you know, appreciated some of the comments of the mayor, because it's like, well, what if somebody has a bunch of weeds on their site, or what if somebody wants to bring some materials to the site, or what if, and so this still provides some flexibility there without modification to the actual soil structure of the site where that's planned to be utilized. So I don't know if there's questions. It's not the state wording. This is a city provision.
City has those restrictions.
Everybody's covered by SWIP.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's not unusual at all. We actually.
But this is just basically, and I feel like this is more of an advantage, and I think there's gonna be an educational process with the applicants, but please understand, if you go in and disrupt the soils, then it could cost you more and disrupt our ability to approve your plans because they conflict with what you submitted initially.
Conversation that's understood in the pre-primary, concept and.
If I want to dig a hole in the property or something that's,
If you want to later get a permit for it.
No, and listen, this is.
This is,
Yeah.
yeah.
like Dave down there with, right, he started digging some stuff, put some gravel in so it would get mud on it. And we put a stop order. To not, you know, before he had anything, he just kind of piled up some dirt. I think he can do that wherever.
I think that one, we didn't do a stop order, that was a
You
SWIP. No, that was, we did the stop order on the demolition.
I think he got a notice too, maybe it was.
He got a SWIP notice for the other one.
But nothing was out on the.
So that.
Nothing was out on the road, nothing was out, it's just he's moving some dirt to put some gravel.
Oh, yeah. It's.
But if I want, I don't know, I mean, if he started digging footings or something, I can understand that, but if I want to do something on my own property, have the city, I would say a good jump.
Well, and I guess with
don't know.
this, I don't think that the city really can stop anybody from, but if you have an active application that, let's say, has specific slopes that are part of that application, and you're modifying those.
Stuff, and I just go out, you know, just fool around with something, that's, I don't.
And that's where we really, and this is your
I don't like
your
that.
determination, but we tried to weigh it out and, okay, well, what could be disruptive to an active application? And if somebody's actually messing with the root systems, that could possibly be disruptive. If someone's not,
If
then,
I'm gonna take out some trees or something and something like that.
so then the best timing for that would probably be before you submit an application and
I think it gets a little bit sticky too, if you're not specific of what you can do, because then you just keep going. And so if you say you can't do anything at all.
Well,
Anyway.
once they submit an application, the rules change basically. It's like, okay, submit the application. When they submit an application, they got like a grading plan, geodetic, all this stuff. If they change that's where it becomes problematic. If they haven't submitted. an
because we're
application,
reviewing based
the
on,
only thing that becomes problematic is SWIP, which is federal government. And we get to be the police for the federal government.
But if you're not doing, I never understood SWIP necessarily, if it's not going into a stormwater. What does it matter? You know, I mean, if there's no water or gutter, I mean, if it's, I mean, I don't wanna make an example, but, it just seems like overreach, government overreach. To where,
I'm arguing with you on
if they write some of these things in there, and I know you have to have some guidelines, I get it, and I don't know where to.
I think it was. So. Then you can work with the.
All they really got to do is take out a swim.
It's not-
What we're saying is if you haven't submitted an application and you're going to disturb
The
the
soil,
road system,
Just look at your-
anything other than agricultural.
okay, anyway,
Then you gotta follow the federal government.
it's just one end here, but this seems like we just, I just,
do.
I mean, you know, you, on your building your,
I mean, I
you're-
already had the original.
well, you know, your patio that I never got an invitation to, by the way. I just, feel- you know, but you moved a lot of dirt for that, you know, you did a lot of things, and that's none of my business what you did back there, I don't think. You know, I don't care.
Well, and
What's going on?
it's really not your business until, so we've had some instances and I'm not gonna point out specific properties, but where they've gone and they've disturbed the site and started some construction, they didn't finish building anything, and now suddenly last year with the snow melt and the runoff, it's flooding people's yards. And that's really problematic and challenging, and that's irregardless, but it
Well, I mean,
gets,
that's an example, yes, I mean, you gotta
It
take
gets tricky.
responsibility. I don't care what you do, but you have responsibility then to hold the water back or whatever it is.
but they're not calling the property owner, they call the city and say, fix this for us.
Well, then you say, you know, this is the problem, that's not the government. Government isn't the end all of everything. We're not the.
I agree, but
We're just,
Yeah,
we're,
the hard place is, and nobody's gonna argue with you, it's just that the federal government said you have to do this, and they left it to us, the city,
Ah.
to be the watchdog. And I
So to
think
consider that
that's-
city is the Swift watchdog?
Yes.
Is that true?
Yes.
Or is the county doesn't do any of that?
no, it's through the development process, we're required to do that, and there's federal.
and these people are so happy to run out there and push somebody, that's the thing, that just
I
drives
don't
me nuts.
know about that, but I will say, with regard to the changes.
Not everybody in government's in that.
Oh, come on,
Not everybody's.
don't put absolutes in there, Sarah, for heaven's sake.
With regard to the
Shall do
changes,
it.
We must,
No, shall.
the proposed changes under the restricted site preparation work are actually more allowing than what we currently have in the code. And so we've expanded that definition to allow the clearing and grubbing, whereas right now it's absolutely not permitted. And so it does
good.
than what we currently have.
Okay.
Even though I understand the pains that were discussed, and then we're just fine. And then just with regards to noticing, and I mentioned this prior,
Steve gets the section. While we're working.
we did think of you, and the mayor said he's gonna bring up some concerns, and that was perfect.
Thank you for all you do.
But now he's moving to the other side.
No, I'm not going to sick. Just, you know.
So with that, so that, yeah, that's the presentation I have.
Can I show her where?
Sure.
17.08, section, 17.08.020, minus everything you have to do.
Sorry, just one second, I'm just pulling up.
Number two, because everywhere else in the paragraph it says shall,
So it's 17, where is it at?
17.08.020.
I want to leave at
If
least
you
two
go down
musts
to
in there,
number
Sarah.
two,
Can we leave two? If we make a motion, we at least two musts in, or may?
oh, Bay is definitely not allowed.
Okay, so number two, the applicant shall submit a final subdivision.
It says additionally, the final plat and all relevant documents, it says must, even though everywhere else it says shall, I would change that to shall be reviewed.
I want to leave that as a must. Can we leave it as must?
So I actually, this is kind of the text that I sent you back. So one of the things in talking with John Geilman and not, I mean, I think shall is fine as well, but when you're working on the city end of things, he said, if you put in all of these shalls and instead of must, it can define the process more cleanly, which either way, so if
Well,
you.
at least for it, then you guys don't have to review. It could be other people other than those people. If this is just for the.
I don't know, I'll leave it as much.
So number, if you're not. going to-
Sorry, I'm just highlighting that really.
Everywhere in the paragraph, it says shall, except for that word, it says must.
Are you on another
Shall
section?
submit a final subdivision plan. Shall include any revision, shall show all items, all of it, and then it says, and all relevant documents must be approved by the person before final signatures and the test are out of the process.
Oh, Anne's in the waiting room,
So
sorry.
if you don't want it reviewed, we must. If you want it reviewed.
Well, it must, I don't,
And
it's,
it's the craziest.
it's a word game and I don't like
It
it.
is, if Bill were here, we would agree with 100%, it's true.
Okay, so there, it's paragraph 2, the
You
second
don't have to change it if you don't want.
line from the bottom. Well, it'll just depend on the motion, but I will highlight
Okay.
and go through.
It doesn't matter to me, I shall sign, it frustrates me that they're. You have to have a legal salary in order to.
I want to leave it as must. We must do this, because must is more important than shall.
Must, you don't have to.
Of course I do. You must do that, Sarah. You shall do it. Which is better?
I'm
is-
telling you, as
Chief?
the attorney.
Chief,
Amy, am I wrong? It's legal language, shall is.
you must shut your mouth right now, or you
What?
shall shut your mouth.
Oh, wow.
Which
You
is,
can just stay down there on
You know
the.
what's interesting is the internet says the legal writing scholar suggests using must instead of shall for a mandatory word, because shall has become so corrupted by misuse.
amen.
It has no firm meaning.
Mayor, thank you.
It can be must, should, will, may, or is. So.
I'm comfortable either
You
way. I
must
just stylistically
stop
prefer to
At a
put
stop
shall.
sign, Sarah, you must stop there.
Many
That-
agencies
that's what-
already use the word must to convey obligation. The US courts eliminated shall in favor of must.
When did you do that? Okay, it's not bloated.
Well, now do we have to change all the shells?
Because
Hey, if you don't want to submit it, why do you want to must then?
I want it to be in. It must be there, and that
Okay.
shall not be there. You shall not.
In the rules and procedures of the US courts,
Yeah.
they use must for an obligation, must not for a
What do they use
prohibition,
shall?
may for discretionary action, should for recommendation. They say they eliminated shall in favor of must.
Okay.
May I hear, hallelujah.
If must,
Shall I hear a gra-
if must is as good as shall, then.
shall, must is, you must do that.
Okay,
You must clean your room, you shall. clean your
you
room.
must sit down and accept a study.
Wow. All right, I love it on this side of the table. I feel such support. I want to leave that as must.
Down over here.
Any other corrections?
Okay, if must is good.
Must is, I think I should change them all to must.
Wow, do you know how many times I learned?
Because all that is, you have to put, can't you just put find all must or shall and put change
I
it to-
can.
So that'd be written.
No, just leave what, because they had an attorney review it.
Well, but the attorney was wrong. We just had the mayor.
On the internet.
Well,
Internet's
Oh my gosh.
Gotta be
You
right.
know what, if John Dialman reviewed it, just leave it as it is.
Well, then leave the must.
Yes, leave it as it is. I would rather just leave it what John said
Okay,
than go back and change a whole bunch of must and shall.
But Sarah,
I was wrong.
it's common knowledge now that shall is gone away. And must.
Until I called Jody Burnett and
You
I'm
call-
gonna call Jody and get
Well,
insurance.
but it's, yeah, but it's.
Because I just want some clarification.
Well,
Those two are the leading land use authorities in the state of Utah.
But, and they're gonna say must.
or Marcia, I'm about to move off.
Oh, yes, I'm gonna call Mercy.
Let's bring it in on that.
Okay.
Sorry.
Part of it.
Anything else?
Uh, Anne just barely got in. Anne, did you have any questions or comments on the subdivision ordinance?
You must say something.
I feel like I must have no comments right now.
You shall be quiet, but you must say something.
No, I didn't entertain the motion.
I'll entertain a motion that we shall
Oh my
that we
God.
shall, where are we? Which one are we? Six? That we shall approve ordinance 2024-2, and we must have the must in place there
Where it's written.
of the one that we wanted to leave
So as is.
as
As
is.
is. I think
So,
that's what it's
as
like, As is, yeah. Do I have a second?
I must second.
Thank you.
Motion by Gibson, second by Yuri. This will be a roll call vote. Arrington,
Yes.
Gibson,
Yes.
Yuri,
Yeah.
Marion. Yes. Nelson's excuse. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, item 7. And before we go to item 7, now that you've been on, item 5 was the agreement with the purchase of real property. Just wanted to express our gratitude for all the work you did on that, getting that.
It's
taken
even in
care
my
of.
motion.
Yeah, that's right. It's even in Vermont. So thank you from all of us for all the work you did on that church property.
It was approved.
Did you try to get it for less?
Item 7, meeting schedule, sets the 2024 city council meeting schedule, work session dates. I'm guessing that's a little large.
Yeah, I gave you, well, the first page is just every second and fourth Tuesday, except for the one in December. Then I just gave you a calendar, just kind of look at it and see if there's anything that's conflicting, or I know November's kind of close to, the 26th is close to the 28th, which is Thanksgiving. I don't know if you see anything that we have some issues.
I just add, it's already the last one. they-
And I don't know if you want to set up any
Yeah.
special meetings right now on your workshops on Saturdays or.
It's the second one in October. Oh, never.
Mayor, I will not be on for February 27th.
Okay, that's gonna be a problem. Neither will I. Yeah, it's in February.
Did we get it canceled?
I could be here the week before.
I will be gone for 3 weeks. Yeah, that's fine.
The
I-
27th,
4th through the 16th.
I can do the 19th.
27th and the 12th.
I can,
Also be on March.
The 20th?
I can be on the,
20th is the Tuesday.
excuse me, 20th, and you could get the 20th if you want to change that.
I will be here too. You want to do the 13th and the 20th and see coming 20th if we need it.
That sounds good.
I missed that one.
Such. Okay.
So still 12 is good. You'll be here.
Then I also Steve will be gone from August 20th. I will miss the, oh no, I'll be here. It's-
Where are you going for that?
I'll be gone the 10th of September.
Where are you going? Oh,
That was canceled.
Yeah. 10th of September. Okay, all right, any other? 28th of May is the day after Memorial Day.
I may be on call, but I, that's first, that's the holiday weekend, but also.
When you guys go on the 24th?
June. Put it on school on the 22nd. Yeah. We switched it to.
20th.
For.
February 20th. Okay. Well, plan on, we'll just keep that and this, if you can call me great.
Oh, I was just gonna check the League of Cities and Towns. It looks like that it won't disrupt meetings this year. It's the week of the 14th through the 20th, so. We won't have any conflicts. That's great.
Okay, so the holiday Juneteenth, is that gonna be moved to the 17th? Is that what?
Yes, so it is. Yes,
Is there, you guys, you want that before Valentine's Day or after Valentine's Day? Is that why we're doing it?
no, Juneteenth is the 17th.
it's
That's
always,
Yeah, that is our
It's
holiday,
always a Monday.
that
Uh-huh.
Monday. But they just, the calendar put it as 19th.
so the federal holiday is different than the state holiday on Juneteenth.
State.
We do the state one. Yep, it's always on a Monday or a Friday. I
So
think.
the 25th would be post,
Mhm.
so the 11th, so those are the normal 11. We should be all organized by the time. I will be there. Okay.
Sounds good.
all right.
So just the
Well,
one
okay,
change.
Fair enough, motion to approve schedule as amended for the city council meetings.
I guess do we usually set the dates?
Well,
We
yeah.
plan them as we-
You can plan them as you want. I'm just gonna post this and so people know this is when your meetings are and
The-
You want to exclude the work session.
Unless you guys want to try to set a work session or two,
I would say we could set one February or something, just, or January, February, just set that one.
Is that right?
Yeah, I think so.
March. There are five meetings back to back.
Yeah, March seems.
What do we want to accomplish, if those maybe something we want to accomplish before, you know, it's, I would like, I don't know, I would like to do one before March, honestly, just to.
What if we do
Yes,
one of
sir.
the February meetings for that and then slate the other one with agenda items?
There you go.
We could do it if we don't get, I just, there's several things I think we should kind of talk about and get stuff rolled out for March, April, May, you know, and kind of.
Yeah, we could
Be
do that. We
ahead
could
of
plan on,
something.
depending on what comes on the agenda, probably the
20th,
do. Okay.
And I know it's a little bit of a hot topic, but we do, for the state's requirements of housing, have some needs, to have some additional discussions this year. And so that may be something we can incorporate into that, or we can look at doing, the one-on-ones, quarterly meeting discussions with the housing stuff, but we can work that in.
Monster show.
Oh,
It's a meeting. It's a
all right.
meeting.
So Sarah, do you wanna still, that'd be okay? I mean, that meets your schedule, I mean, your, motion,
Motion. Yeah,
if we pick that one.
all of them are Tuesday.
Okay, do I have a second?
I didn't hear what was changed.
I made a motion to set the 2024 city council meeting schedule, which the dates as discussed.
Basically, we decided to make one of the February meetings. Okay. Motion by Yuri, second by Marion, for the discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Did we lose Ann? All right, item 9A is council assignments, discussion possible action to set the 2024 council liaison assignments.
I think we did lose Ann. She said my service is super spotty, catching every other sentence, so we'll see if she comes back in.
Yeah, I'm kind of here. Just don't call on me. I'm kind of here. Trying to be here.
Did you have a vote on the last one, Ann?
Was that on the city council meetings?
Uh-huh.
Oh, I'll vote yes. That's amazing.
Where are you, Ann?
And I know.
I'm in Orlando, Florida. You'd think that Disney World would have some good service, but they don't.
Last night's meeting.
Which one are you not on?
No, I'm not on. We were more together.
The master transportation.
And
That
that's,
was just our.
that's nearly wrapping up, yeah, because we've got that on for next agenda.
All right, does anybody have any particular desires here?
Well, I don't know if we need to add it here, but I am working with the city of, no, performing cities, like, that's what I thought you called it, but,
Yeah, I think we need that
I think we should, I think that it's a huge.
it's just, efficiency stuff that I've been trained.
high performance,
Oh, that's
I'll
right.
call it
Performance city.
Performance city is what I call
then that's what we need to have it on there, high performance city.
High performance solutions,
it. Performance.
high performance.
You need to come back in my office, it's getting better.
I like that.
I don't know if there is some committees that, outside of the city that need members from us to be involved in, and I'd be all open to if there is any of those.
And I don't know, the group that came and presented, not the chamber, but I don't know, I'm guessing they'd be willing to have a participant and.
And then ask Sarah, the senior citizen liaison, are you still good for that, or should we?
I am, as long as you guys want me to. I have this last couple of weeks been like, over it. That's what it's-
Yeah. Not even just a few, so,
I was on the roll, so I was really missing.
well, that's fine, you know, if you're tired of it, that's something else.
You can add me to the cert one to,
Oh, thanks, Dave.
What is that?
Do we have the mayor on that one as well?
Just,
And I'll be sophomore, if it's on the list.
I would, I think Steve's done a great job as an understated committee chair. I'd like to see him continue if he wants to.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with it, right? I mean, I think everybody just does their job.
Yeah.
It's not really. It's just everybody does such a good job of everything.
Well, there's like assignments for them, you all help each other.
Yeah, I don't think that's. I don't know, I mean, whatever, I think
We can, obviously, these.
I was, just by way of announcement, I re-elected to the workforce of the mosquito building. Yesterday.
I was just reelected to the vice chair at Wacom. Even though it wasn't.
So-
About the board of health, but I. It's really, my goodness, the vice. chair.
On the planning commission, I'd forgotten last year we were gonna do rotation. We really didn't do that this year. Do we still want that to reflect it? Do we want to try to do a rotation?
I think Sarah does a great job with that,
What?
Planning commission, Larry just,
Anybody can come at any time, and has come to us, of months, some, just depending on the topic.
Dave came once. Sign something.
Yeah, we talked about last year rotating that. I don't think we ever got a consensus on it, so.
So I don't know if we just want to update this just to clean it up, but
Yeah.
everybody's always
I
welcome.
just leave it like that. If
Or just leave it.
If it's something that I wanna go, I'll look at it.
Oh, everybody's welcome. So,
I think it's probably not helping at all.
No, that rarely happens, and most of it is just observation and communicating what's going on in city council.
So Sarah, what do you do there? I mean, I don't think you need to be involved with it at all. but
No.
What is the position you think that represents of the
Mayor
council?
Lesky created it. There was more of just learning the process and observation. Sometimes there's clarifications and things that, are shared. Dan's done that, I've done that, but mostly it's just observations and communicating what happens after they do things here and what's happening in city council.
Because, we really need that, I think we need to have that separated somewhat.
It's very separated. It's just
Yeah.
observation.
Planning commission
Really, yeah.
is their thing and city council
It's
is,
very,
I don't think we need to,
If there's not a state plan or anything like that.
no, it's just observing.
so I don't know if we even need that necessarily.
I would love to observe, just to observe, but.
Well, I've been saying, any of us are welcome
Yeah.
to attend.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this, but having it be an assignment, if you go, what does that accomplish? Well,
It started out as, I want you to go, but I would go anyway because I'm a little bit nervous. So,
that's fine, I mean, you're welcome to go, I just don't know if we need to have a city council assignment. If it's there. Because I really feel they need to function as a planning commission.
Yeah, I think something might be better. Because the state is kind of funny about planning commission versus
If you want to eliminate it as of December, that's fine.
Either. But that's just my opinion, David, and,
Either way, they have appreciated the communication.
I never really understood that it was a requirement.
No, that's right.
But I do see it's important to be separated, you know, also I think having knowledge sometimes clarify. So
I think the connection's been nice.
It has, but I feel there's a danger there. If she's clarifying something for the council, she's speaking on behalf of the council, which,
Not so much clarification. Yes, my position as a council member goes with me with whatever I say, but it's not, it's more of a clarification of law, not council. But I see what you're saying.
if I had my brothers, I'd say we don't have a position that's there, or a committee assignment. You know, feel free to go, and I've done a couple just because of the
I
topic,
have to,
that I wanted to just hear what I had to say, and I sat in the back and didn't say a word, you know? And I don't think that I influenced anything any other way, that, you know, I wouldn't want that.
I think it probably direction ought to come more from the city.
See, and I think Amy, you know, Amy or whoever
Yeah.
that's there, that's our connection. for staff.
Amy does that with them.
I don't know, whatever.
Sarah's definitely helped.
no, I think it's a good perception on us to keep them with it separate. I always wondered why and who might, because it wasn't there when I was at the council.
Who's going to be under minimum?
I think the intent is good. And like, everybody's free, council members can come to.
The citizen, the citizen,
Yeah,
that's our-
So can we just, you
If
want
we
to move
want
it all
to
together?
eliminate that position, that's fine. I'll be here. That's fine.
And you're absolutely welcome to be here.
We're calling this liaison assignments, right? That's what the title of it. What about it?
Which one?
Council assignments.
Council assignments.
Oh, up at the top.
Oh.
Some of them are liaisons, some of them aren't.
Well, the planning commission was on the liaison.
And if I could just say one more thing on planning commission, sorry, but I do think it's helpful and I don't know, this is just throwing out spitballing. Something we did, annually in Ogden, but just for the planning commissioners to know who the council members and the mayor are and get acquainted with you. And I wonder if we do like an annual dinner or something, just to kind of a meet and greet or just so they know who their elected officials are and have some connection with you, because that's, I mean, they're part of the city, obviously, Founder's Day, getting engaged there and that, but just making sure that there's an awareness there and they know. One of the things that I've appreciated about Chair Neff is he's always saying, okay, well, we've made this recommendation to the council, where did this go? I want to know kind of the final result, and I think that that's great, because it's not just a, well, let's do us, we're done, we don't care.
Yeah.
But it's what happened, we'd like to know.
I think they do a really good job. I think they good people on there that really take it seriously and
There is some, really connection though. I think that's a great idea to get us more involved that way.
I would like motions. Yeah, to actually, you know, in other cities, we've done this with the planning commission too. At least once a year, to meet together as a council communication of where our goals are. what our
Joint
goals
work
are, what-
Session type discussions.
Somebody-
Yeah, I mean, yeah, bring in a dinner type of thing, I'll sit together around the circle and just interact and.
Okay, any others? I don't know if the tax and entity committee still exists. Because come on, we've never met in 6 years, so
What do we do?
that's where it's RDA. we go to the A or A. Everybody's pretty much adopted a different approach to RDAs and CDAs, that kind of stuff, where they go to each entity directly, present their case.
Ours expires this year anyways, too.
there,
Yes.
I don't really see it listed here anymore, but I would like to, with your permission, to have a little committee to talk about our new Point North
Oh,
area. I'd like to be part of that.
And I thought I saw it listed here, but
It
maybe.
used to be, we had a joint venture farm, and then we took that off,
Mhm.
then that kind of fell apart, but I think that's gonna be something that I would like to be involved with going forward and
I think-
pushing that, so.
Yeah, I think I was thinking that that was the joint roadway project, but I wonder if we could expand
We
that.
could have that be, but I
'Cause-
want to specifically target,
Mhm.
Or
That
in the
point, yeah.
development area.
yeah,
But I don't know, maybe we do want it as a separate item depending on who wants to be involved.
but anyway, I would like to be involved with that if I could, Mayor.
And we have reached out a couple of times to try to get a meeting set up, and I don't think the developers are
Yeah.
ready, but we're gonna stay queued up and ready to go.
I will make a phone call if I'm on that to kind of, I want to make sure that happens.
No, I think it's very good.
And that's important for a lot of things going forward economically and really the face of the city, I think that's gonna change us a lot.
So add it with the joint roadway and it's still just you and Dave? Is that what we're doing? The joint roadway project, adding the Point North area to joining those together?
And I
Probably
can't
about
remember
7
if Phil
down.
wanted to be on that one. That's the only.
Was that for the-
So the joint roadway is the one between us and Far West, and there's actually some activity that might be happening on that, so that it probably is better to separate them. I'm
Separate?
sorry.
Okay.
I'm the one that suggested to combine them.
Roadway and.
I would say so. There's a lot coming in.
The same.
No.
Well,
This
the
is the
point
other-
north
I
is
don't know if it's ours. That's
more industrial
That's
development.
not the,
to the
that's
north.
not the Far West stuff.
You're just talking about.
So, yeah, from Parkland, north or west. of
Winery
Taylor,
ones.
the winery north.
And
So that's Gibson and Nelson.
I think Phil wanted to be involved if that's, but
Yeah, I
I
just,
want
yeah, I
to.
just want to have it on there.
On Point North.
That's probably better. I mean, I'd be.
Yeah, I don't know, that's the-
But we'd love to have you on the joint road, and again, I mean, the mayor and I, there's not a lot we can talk about right now, but we had a really interesting discussion. So I need to schedule some quarterly meetings. Lots.
Okay,
lots.
I don't want to talk on top of anybody here, but like, I still on the CERT committee and yeah, is that good?
Yeah.
And do we still have a cemetery committee? Can I do that?
You're gonna
There you go.
have to talk to Steve. We got him and Phil on there.
Oh, that's okay. That's all right. No worries. You guys can,
I'll be involved in. I mean, if you wanna,
On the Ramble Recreation Programs, I'm on the ramp board. I know this was only one there, but if you want to put my next time, we can talk about it.
So Steve, are you willing to switch with them?
I can do that. I mean, I would like to be involved with it, but if she wants to be official, I can do that. So I just want to see it move forward. And I don't have to be there to move forward. I want to get my spot. filled up. I want to be involved in.
So
What, 5 acres?
No, I just want it to be prominently placed, you know, Gibson, right there. I don't want to be down in the soggy part. I want to be up a little higher. I don't want to be wet. I don't want to be, I don't want to be, I
Is
just.
that right?
Steve,
Great.
you're really fun today.
Well, what is the recreation program? for Ramp? Just.
I don't,
Sound like two different things.
You actually.
ramp and recreation program. I'm not even quite sure what that is, and Phil's the only one on that one, and I don't know if we've done anything in the last year on that.
Ramp and recreation, if it were me, I would separate both of those.
I would take recreation programs right off there
Yes.
and just call it random.
And
Well, was the recreation part of the city, working with the city recreation program, or was that?
I don't know.
Oh, you know what? I think I recall. I think that was included as Phil was helping to serve as the liaison, working with the lacrosse group.
Let him have that.
So leave the
So
recreation on
if
there.
we separate those,
Where?
And I don't know if it needs to be a formalized thing like we did last year.
Weird to kind of combine.
Yeah,
I want it.
I don't think it's necessary. I think,
There's a funding that, well, most of the funding with easy grants and stuff like that, ended up in recreation, so. Yeah. it's-
I think, yeah.
I think it's okay if we just have it as ramping.
Do
Hopefully
we have a
it'll still help.
recreation? Do we have a recreation liaison already?
You know,
No, well, like. With you, city council, that kind of overflows with that.
But we could separate out and have,
Basically, this part, municipal park.
Yeah, I'd be interested in doing that.
But do we need that though, Ann? I mean, that'd be like having somebody over the parks, we don't need a.
I think it-
Do we need
Well, I
one
don't-
for recreation?
Yeah, and I don't consider it like over them, right? It's just like a communication if we need somebody to bounce some ideas off of or whatever, like, I think that's more of what it would be, right?
I actually, and I don't think it's a bad idea, and the reason being, Cindy's recently communicated with me that we're like full, all of our programs are full, and we're experiencing some real growing pains, and I think we're gonna be having some challenges to work through, and it'd be helpful to have a council member to help us. The other thing we're working on, and just navigating, different things is, some policies, some different things to help fortify our programming. There's just been a lot of questions coming up with different things, and we're trying to make it better and serve our residents better, so I don't think it's bad.
if you do separate those out, I would like to be involved with them, just because we're doing two of them, so. That's okay.
So on ramp, Sarah and Phil. Recreation and. I mean, obviously, because of the administrative, I'm involved in that. Anything else? Not entertaining the motion to approve this item.
We need to, it makes sense for us to update it, revisit it, when it's all updated and.
Have you got it all?
I think I have it all. I'm gonna have to hurry and just tell you what I've changed.
Sure.
So I'm adding recreation liaison, that's the mayor and Ann. The cemetery committee, I'm changing it to Ann from Gibson and leaving on Nielsen. CERT, I'm adding Marriott and Ann's already on there. Go down to taking off planning commission liaison. Putting down ramp only, and keeping Nielsen and adding Sarah. And then we are adding high performing city, which is Marriott, and the Point North area, which is Gibson and Nielsen. Even though he didn't say he was going to.
He has before.
Okay, so leave him there. Okay,
And remove the last two boards, we were forming health board and we were working.
okay, those are gone.
Are you-
Yeah, I think both have people involved, I don't know.
No.
It's the same person.
Okay. Good, right. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve the council assignments as stated by Laurie. The changes as stated by Laurie.
Second.
Motion by Aaron, seconded by Gibson, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Hey,
Opposed, motion carries, thank you. All right, at this point, I think we'll go into a full meeting. Full meeting to talk about the, whatever it is.
Character comprehensive.
Character, competency, and so on and so on. So,
Second.
by Marion, second by Gibson, roll call vote. How are we gonna do this? We can probably add you on by phone.
yeah, I can take a phone call. That'd be good.
Okay, so roll call vote, Arrington,
Yes.
Gibson.
Yes.
Yuri,
Yes.
and Aaron.
Yes.